Hello guys, and well, you may notice that from first of all, sorry, welcome to my second tutorial. Today we'll be going over something I forgot last week, which would be Boolean variables and their true and false. And that's something I forgot yesterday, yeah, on my last tutorial. Something I don't know why I kept messing it up. I just forgot. I just brain farted, completely blanked out on it. The else statement, and then I'll be moving on to string variables and making this equal to 1 in all capital letters and 2 in all capital letters instead of the numbers 1 and 2. And so basically, start off, you might notice, well, I hope you notice, because it does look really different. And my screen looks very, very different from last time. And basically, no, I'm not gonna lie, this is my third attempt at recording this tutorial video. The first one, my aunt called, and I had talked to her because it was my birthday yesterday, and I called her to thank her for the card and presents she sent me, and she wasn't there, so I left a message, and so she called the day to call back to thank me for the message and wish me a happy birthday. And then after that, I went through and I messed something up at the tutorial towards the end. I was trying to do something a little more complicated just to show you something, and I messed it up, and so I obviously can't put that video out because then you see me messing up, and it's kind of weird because it's the guy giving you a tutorial. So I'm going to get into that later. I figured out what I messed up, but I'm not going to do it in this again because it's also, I realize it's too complicated for the first couple tutorials. I'm going to do that actually really later because it deals with a timer, like not a timer, but like stopping the program from running for like a little bit, or like stopping it from moving on, basically. And so yeah, I don't want to get too far into that. And then making this so you can run it multiple times, which I also don't want to get into. Making this whole thing you can do it more than once, which I also don't want to get into yet. So basically, you'll see here, it says help and man overboard, SOS, and throw a life preserver. This used to be hello world last time, and this was world hello, and so that's why everything looks different and is named differently, because it's my third time recording the video, and don't have time to go all the way back through and revert all the way back to my old to what it was at the end of my last tutorial. So I'm just going through explaining to you, maybe retyping some stuff after deleting it, and hopefully that works for now. I'm probably gonna redo this tutorial video later on, like maybe number 5 or something, just like going over it again so you can see a little bit, or maybe like a sub-tutorial video. I'll look into that. But for now, hey, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. It's my mistake, completely my fault. And I'm rambling too much, so let's get started. So basically, in order to make this a little different, I changed hello world to help and world hello to man overboard. And then we're going to start with the Boolean. So basically, Boolean z equals false, which is Boolean's another type of variable. And basically, it equals false. So now, down here, you can do z equals true. And basically, you'll notice that, sorry for my stuttering, whatever. I could just make this equal to true up here, like this. But then so I could do that. It'd be simpler. I wouldn't have to do this. I don't have to at all. I could just make that equal to true up here. I just want to show you doing this too, so I just made that false and that equal to true. And so now basically it'll do if y. This goes with the text, but think of this as y like this. Think of it like this. Think of it like that still. But because I don't have time to go back and revert everything to what it was before, unfortunately, you have to deal with this. So just think of it as y equal to 1, not y dot equals 1 and 1 as a string variable. So basically, if you do that, it'll print help, and then it'll do if y dot equals 1 again, if z. And if z, just doing z, is basically if z is true. So basically, if I was to get rid of this, and I was to type, just ignore me typing the word 1 in all caps, I'll go over that later, 1, say help, because z is no longer equal to true. But if I do that, and I type 1, it'll type help, SOS. So, like, yes. And also, you notice I got rid of the while loop, because what I was trying to do before with the changing it to 1 in all capital letters and 2 in all capital letters for text, I didn't want to. That would make it a little more complicated for these first couple videos, and I didn't want to get into that either. So that's saving for another video on a later date. So basically, if z is equal to true, print out SOS. If it's equal to 1, if y equals 2 and z is equal to true, then print throw a life preserver. That's when it says man overboard. So yeah, you can see what I mean. You are stupid. You guys aren't stupid, but now we're gonna go on to the text. So basically, what I did is I changed x and y to string variables, and basically to initialize them now, so it doesn't keep giving me an error just because it's annoying. You don't have to do this. I've made them equal to null, which is essentially nothing. It's just nothing. It's not equal to anything, so it's equal to null. And basically, y is still equal to x, and x is still equal to x plus 1. Well, actually, no, we don't need this anymore, I don't believe. Yes, we no longer need this. Because we no longer need this because we don't have the while loop anymore, and also x is now no longer an integer variable. It is a string variable. And so now basically, it's just if you type in a 1 in all caps or a 2 in all caps, it'll give you these. And the thing I was going to show you was, the thing is, if they mess up typing it and they type it in a lowercase or just like the O uppercase and then the NE lowercase, it'll just stop because it'll basically be like an error, but it's an error in the way you coded it, not in the actual, like, the syntax is not error, there's no error in the syntax. Basically, it's just like, okay, they typed something in wrong, so it just ends the program, because that's as far as it gets, because it doesn't equal any of these, so the next thing after these would be to end. And basically that's all that does. And then I was going to go into this, I'm going to do this now. Basically added another variable, integer, w equals 0. As you can see, I'm just going backwards to the alphabet now. For no reason, I just want to do that. And so basically w is equal to 0. While w is equal to 0, we have another while loop, and this while loop ends right here. While w is equal to 0, do this. And it'll say, okay, so w equals 0 initially it is equal to 0, so it will do this definitely. So should x equal 0 or 1 or 1, should x equal 1 or 2? And actually, to make this a little more easy, let's change these to the all caps versions, so it's a little more like you can actually know what you're supposed to type in. And basically, if x dot equals, that's what the string variable does. If x, this is the same as if x double equals sign for equals. So if x equals 1, for string variables you would do if x dot equals, and then the parentheses, your quotation marks, your word, then you end parentheses, and then you end the original parentheses. And remember, these two lines, which are right below the delete key and directly to the right of the two bracket keys, if you press shift and the backslash, that key, that's what you get, and that is OR. So if it's equal to that, if x dot equals 1 or x dot equals 2, then w equals 1, which means the while loop is which means w is no longer equal to 0, which means this won't work, which means it throws it out and goes down here, throws it out of the while loop. And this is the other thing I messed up last time, an else statement. It's just simple. I don't know why I messed it up. Basically, anything, if x equals anything else, then w still equals 0, and it prints out you are stupid. And basically, the backslash n, it just means new line. So you can see here, let me take it out up here. You can see here, it's right here. But if I add a backslash n, see here, now it's down here. So that's basically what that does. And so, yeah, that's all that does, really. That's all you need to know for that. And basically, so if I type in a 1, it'll say, you are stupid, should x equal 1 or 2. Type in a 2, it'll say, you are stupid, should x equal 1 or 2. But if I type in a 1 in lowercase, doesn't work. 2 in lowercase, doesn't work. 1 in uppercase, at help SOS. Now if I type in a 2 in uppercase, man overboard, throw a life preserver. See what I mean? And so now, I'm just going to do 2 backslashes here, 2 backslash n's, and a single one in each of these, just to make it a little easier to, let's do a third one, actually. There we go. So now, if I type in a 1, they help SOS, but it's farther down from the answer. 2, it'll say man overboard, throw life preserver. And I only did this to make it farther away from this to make it easier to read. That's basically all that does. And next video, I'm going to get a little more in depth. This video is probably going to be shorter. I don't actually know because I don't have a timer on my screen for it. But basically, this video is probably shorter, I'm guessing, just because I messed up 2 times before. And so I had to take my aunt's call, and then I messed something up trying to do something that's too complicated for the video, and that I haven't even not completely gotten down yet. So yeah, Remember, I'm going to be learning with you guys. I forgot to say this in my last video. I'm going to be learning some stuff with you guys. The stuff in the first couple of videos is going to be basic stuff that I already know, But once we get within probably 6 or 7, I'm going to actually have to start learning myself too. So I'm going to be doing it pretty much right after I learn it. And as I get farther along, I'll get better. And I'll go back and I'll go over stuff as I learn more about it. And so yeah, that's also what I wanted to say in this video because I forgot to mention it last time. And so thanks for watching my tutorial, guys. I hope to see you next time. And bye. See you soon.